We are ready to go with another round of the Eternal Hero Tournament that we've been running with the community. So we're going to have AleshaKills versus Grandmastersson in Losers Round 3. AleshaKills having lost in Round 1 against Arzu, the person that's currently locked for Grand Finals. Losing Round 1 to Arzu and then winning all the way up through Losers, always on the bubble of losing. 2 different rounds now trying to go for the 3rd in a row. Grandmastersson having lost to Arzu himself just 2 rounds ago in winners. So we're going to be having those two fight it out. We have Onis on the side of Grandmastersson, one of our more aggressive decks by a lot. So it's going to be, as you can imagine, an Oni deck. Rakano with a lot of different Onis. The actual hero for this list, if I can remember, it's been a little while, is, yes, Aijin, Imperial Armor. And so we've got Aijin, Imperial Armor, and all of her Oni pals versus a group of kilos is called a pod by AleshaKills, and AleshaKills is going to be running 4 kilo. So you're going to see a lot of later game stuff out of this deck. This deck is actually pretty aggressive sometimes. Like, we've got Crown Watch Paladin, you've got Ikaria, you've got the, like, Pony Snatcher and Rip Knife Assassin and stuff like that. Acquisitive Crow also always having been a house in these games. But really the aggro deck, I think, is just going to be this Rakano deck. Akko on turn 1, Kazoo. Like, this one actually has 1-drops, and a lot of them. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different 1-drops. There's a lot for this particular build. And we're going to have them fight off in just a minute as soon as they are challenging each other here. I think that we're just waiting for Grandmastersson. But yeah, Onis tend to be very, very fast, and this is no exception. The Oni deck running lots of things like Bladekin Apprentice and Jishu and all those kinds of things. Alright, there we go. Grandmastersson has joined the game. We are ready to go. And we're going to follow AleshaKills from the start. So AleshaKills being our starting player here. If that is working. Accept. There we go. And a good hand here from Alesha. I mean, we talked about how Acquisitive Crow is great. Problem is, I actually just realized, wow, Alesha has no primal.
We fight to survive.
I kind of like that play, get the Ghost Blade down early because you know how aggressive Grandmastersson is going to be. But this could be a really bad position for Alesha. They need to find another power card for Geomar, or they need to find Primal, preferably both. Just the Sigil is a tough decision here. Alesha keeps on top. I don't know if that's correct. That's a tough one. I would probably also keep, but that is not an easy decision. I like this block here from Alesha also. Alesha knows they don't have another unit for a few turns, so getting at least some value out of that, killing the Warbrush Oni, makes sense. But yeah, tough start for Alesha here. The advantage is that Geomar is a massive swing for that lifesteal. As long as Alesha can just find another, like, Primal, or now the Dark Return will actually work with it too, right? Being able to play a spell. Oh, Alesha's just gonna opt to Dark Return first rather than play Geomar. Wow, I'm surprised by that. And obviously going to be a trade, right? Or is just going to wait? Nope, going to try to trade. And there's the finest hour. And this leaves Grandmastersson in a commanding position. Now Alesha needs to find another Primal to get that Strategize online, or another spell to get Geomar to happen. And we get to see Hanaka actually get that Mastery trigger. So really tough position for Alesha. Grandmastersson thinking hard about what they want to do here. Yeah, Sword of Ikaria feels like the nail in the coffin. Alesha absolutely must top deck a Primal in the next turn, I think, or the chance of this game going any way but Oni is out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, and that is just too little too late. I mean, nothing for Alesha here at all, and the Onis come through for more than lethal and take down a game. And I mean, you can say that Alesha got stuck on power, which is absolutely true, like Alesha had a bad draw, but part of the thing is that Onis are meant to capitalize on that. Onis are the type of deck where Grandmastersson built a deck, much like the mono time deck that we saw at a Fish Spider, that is meant to capitalize on somebody else stumbling, right? It's meant to be super consistent, it's not running a lot of colors, it's staying really aggressive, and it says, hey, if you trip up on your draw, I am here to make you hurt. And it did. Oni go face. And we are going to watch from the other side now and see if Grandmastersson has it in them to pull off another 2-0. Grandmastersson hasn't dropped a game to anybody but to Arzu so far. So we'll see how this works out. Give them both good luck. That might have been the problem last time. Never gave Alesha the good luck. Grandmastersson keeping a hand here that could be very awkward. I think it's a correct keep. They just need to have one power card, and it doesn't have to be Justice. But you can definitely see how this could be awkward real fast if Grandmastersson misses. So we might have a repeat of game 1, but in the other direction. Yeah, and Alesha's managed to get her mana off right away. And Grandmastersson now stumbling really hard, actually. But if Grandmastersson finds a Justice next turn, Kozin into Finest Hour is still strong enough. It might be able to pull out. That being said, Alesha going to the market this early and with a 1-4, which is just a great wall against this deck, is going to be tough. Alright, well there's a power card at least.
Embrace the nightmare.
So, for Alesha's market, by the way, she could have gone for Edict of Makar, Grasping at Shadows, Unseen Execution, Dizo's Office, or just a Token of Purpose. Oh wow, and Grandmastersson forced to sacrifice and still doesn't have the right power to even use the Finest Hour. Opting against attacking. Oh, man. Yeah, this is definitely a turnabout is fair play kind of moment, as Grandmastersson is just floundering really hard over their power, much like Alesha did last game. And I'm not sure how how Grandmastersson comes out of it. Specifically, like, Vara and Slay, and honestly, the 1-4 Blight Pass is a really big problem for Grandmastersson. They're just such great blockers. Vara might be one of the worst cards for Grandmastersson to see. I say immediately as one of the other worst cards for Grandmastersson to see comes out with Carve It, which is just a really tough card to actually block and deal with here. Lifesteal and flying is bad, bad news. Oh, but Alesha bites on the block. Getting burned by the Finest Hour in game 1, not enough. Alesha blocking again and having Carve It fall. Oh, and there's the reason. Alesha had gone for the Grasping at Shadows, maybe because of the Vara that was in her hand already?
Will return.
Or maybe because the Carve It was already there, and gets the Carve It back immediately. So a really good play by Alesha. Something that looked like a mistake, but I think was actually correct. Really smartly played. That being said, I mean, Grandmastersson did manage to claw back into this pretty well now. Gets the mastery onto this Oni. So now it gets exalted. And obviously the Warhorn is a really nice top deck. It's going to take some time to set it out. Grandmastersson, I was going to say, they might be thinking about holding that so they can have it as a trick. I think it was better to just play to get Burning Claw. And Grandmastersson agrees. Oh, Alesha with Vara into Vara. Yikes. I was going to say, Grandmastersson actually looks like they've really caught back up, but original Big Lady Vara is tough. And yeah, I think that Alesha gets some attacks in here. Now 38 to 14 versus the aggro deck. That's not where you want to be. Grand just attacking. Yeah, Alesha does not care about that. Alesha can swing back for more than enough. That 6 damage is absolutely nothing to Alesha now at this high life total. Surprised we didn't see more attacks on the ground here, actually, from Alesha. Just because they have such a commanding lead. Grandmastersson really trying to fight this out, though. They've got big, meaty swings. The problem is that there's just such good blocks on the side of Alesha here. It really feels like ice skating uphill here for Grandmastersson.
Imbued for your safety.
Yeah, and Tinker comes back, getting back a Xenon Cultist. Immediately able to sacrifice the Blight Pass Smuggler, and I can pull out 4. Yeah, so the spell to... the answer to any spell that Grandmastersson can have. And that definitely looks like it is the game. Kilo pulling out some nasty finishers. So yeah, a little bit of a turnaround there for sure, where Grandmastersson just not able to capitalize in the early game because of that bit of power screw, not able to get their justice down on time, and just stumbling out the gate. Managing to get Alesha to walk into that finest hour almost got them back into it, but it just wasn't ultimately enough. You can't give Alesha long enough to find things like Kilo or Vara, because you can't really beat that as the aggro deck, and we saw that there. So we're going to watch from Alesha's side. Both of these players on the bubble, either one of them, if they lose, they are eliminated from the tournament. So we'll see how Alesha does, and if she can continue her streak through loser's bracket to try and go back and fight Arzu, or if it's going to be Grandmastersson. Both of these players having dropped to Arzu, their only loss, actually. It's time for the breaker. And Alesha has a nice start. Sea Cancers can find any kind of non-power card for Alesha. Obviously, Kilo is a very good card for her. Being able to dig out single answers. Things like Daring Griffin and Kilo are really, really mean. Daring Griffin because it also gets a bunch of abilities. Being able to use the Berserk gives it Reckless as well, so it actually ups its abilities after you attack with it. So you can dig even deeper with it on the Kilo. But being able to stop somebody from removing Kilo by playing it as well is really mean. It's a really nice protection move. And yeah, Silverwing Familiar is a perfect hit. Like, it's a small and unassuming unit, and Alesha probably doesn't care about it. But it works really well with Kilo. And speaking of working well with Kilo, there's Ghostblade. So we're going to see a turn 3 Silverwing, turn 4 Kilo sacrifice it, I have to imagine. Just makes the most sense. You don't have to throw Kilo down and have it be under threat in the meantime then. Now Grandmastersson gets to go to the market first. Grandmastersson's market is obviously a little more aggressive. Streets of Flame, Deep Forge Plate, Emerald Ring, Phoenix Stone, and Lay Siege. Grandmastersson might be really well suited to grab Streets of Flame here. but probably doesn't know that. I mean, you don't know that Alesha has the Kilo in hand. We'll have to see what they went and grabbed. It could very easily be Deep Forge Blade. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, with actually decimating there, that makes it far less likely. Grandmastersson went for the super aggro of Phoenix Stone, which I think is going to be real bad news for Grand in a minute, because this Kilo is about to take over. Able to find a 6-drop off of it. And it's Kaifus with Revenge. Deadly Reckless Revenge. Revenge is so bad here for Grandmastersson. That can now pull out a 9-drop. So immediately a Katha the Huntress can come down.
Reporting in.
And kill one thing on the board for free. While also getting a Slay. And here comes a Kantha. Probably kill the Akko just in case, like the 3-2 is a problem. No. Alright, Alesha does not care about Akko at all. And that's maybe fair. Akko is a really scary card, but not when it can't get in.
Welcome,
And man,
welcome.
we're just seeing how incredibly strong Kilo is here. Absolutely manhandling this early Oni lead. There's not a lot that Grandmastersson feels like they can get here. Now we're going to see Black Sky Harbinger. I've got to imagine that Kilo doesn't sacrifice anything and it just goes straight to the Black Sky. That being said, could also sacrifice a Kantha and get Scourge of Frostholm so that Grandmastersson can never play another spell. I feel like no matter what the choice is here, though, Grandmastersson has, unfortunately, lost this battle. And there we go. Grandmastersson scoops them up, and Alesha moves on, defeating Oni. A really valiant try by Grandmastersson. Did a great job. Really well played. Definitely got stuck on game 2. But, I mean, Alesha was stuck on game 1, and an early Kilo is a massive beater. So, we've got the winner. Alesha moving on again. Someone who was surprised to see drop in such an early fashion, losing round 1 in the winners, but now slowly crawling back all the way through losers bracket, all the way to losers round 4 on the bubble the whole time. So Alesha having to sweat really, really hard here.